Say, to the best of my ability, I'd like to give you a movie review of this movie I saw online. It's called Negro Planet. It was like made in the early 1990s when it was made when Obama was president. So when was he president? Like in the year 2002 or when? Anyway, I forgot what year Obama was president, but this movie, Negro Planet, is probably one of the funniest movies I've ever seen, but there's also some scary science sophistication to it that I find very uncanny. Are you still with me? Let me check. Yeah, I'm back with you now. What happens is that it starts out with Tuskegee University in 1938, and a bunch of black business people were having a meeting inside this room, and they were talking about how they couldn't live with white people any longer. So they decide, where are we going to go? Are we going to Africa? No. Are we going to Europe? Nope. So they say we're going to go further, and this villain says, what do you mean further? And he says the North Pole. Anyway, you'll have to watch it. Anyway, so they're going. He shows them the spaceship, and they have a couple snitches in the group, but you'll have to see it. But what I want to get to is that the villain that appears later on in the movie when they travel to the modern future, this physicist, his daughter, who's a astronomer, and their pilot, who used to be like a daredevil pilot when he was only 13 years old. He drove the rocket ship, and they're in Kansas City when Obama was president, and they meet this villain who's genetically related to another villain they knew in 1938, and they look exactly the same. But what's really scary is that he looks like Barney Hill, Betty of Barney Hill fame, and also they time travel to Kansas City. And another weird, scary thing is that this crooked politician they meet, who's obviously a Republican. You know, the thing I don't like is that they kind of make the Republicans look bad and crazy. And I'm a Republican myself, but they meet this college professor, a female, and she's a culture studies, professor, especially on Black history and stuff. And she introduces them to the new sociological order of what stuff's going on with the black people and stuff. But to get to my point, this crooked politician they met during modern times, he not only looks like Barney Hill, a Betty and Barney Hill fame, but he also looks like our politician that we have now in Kansas City. He looks like Frank White. He has a certain resemblance to him. Both of these men, this guy here. Yeah, at least in my opinion, that's kind of creepy. And they talk about the they meet a physicist who's teaching at the college, that young lady, that black young lady who's teaching at the same college or university. They get introduced to a physics professor, and he talks about an Einstein-Rosenberg bridge, which is something like when two black holes collides. And they think that when they were out in the rocket ship going to Mars, that they ran into one. But what's really funny and the cutest and sweetest thing is their robot, because he talks like someone like from Gone with the Wind type of thing. Like it's like the cutest, funniest robot you ever seen. It's really sweet. Anyway, they decide that the professor, the father of the young lady who's an astronomer, he stays behind in the future because their spaceship is overloaded. But this young rapper, he's a rap singer. He gets on the ship. He was a friend of them too, and he goes back there and he kills Hitler, and he has homosexual sex with that guy's great grandfather, and that causes him never to be born, and so he like turns yellow gold and dissipates or something like that at the end of the movie. But you got to see it. Maybe you can see it online for free. I'm going to conclude now.